ITVX today. This is the unmistakable theme to the iconic film Jaws. 50 years on from its release, celebrities are facing their fears by coming face to face with sharks.
Seemed like a really good idea at the time, didn't it?
It seemed like a really, really good idea at the time.
It's part of a new ITV series called Shark Celebrity-Infested Waters. Let's take a look.
There's a shark!
Never thought I'd be in the water with them.
Oh, my God!
This could be a life or death situation.
It's a beautiful day for it, right?
I'm really, really scared.
You just get eaten by a shark. That's a hell of a story at the funeral.
How fast can you book a return home flight?
He kept trying, but they wouldn't let him go. So
I took a tunnel. Flipping heck.
So, why?
Because challenge. Yeah. Because I'm a person of a certain age, because I don't really like water. Water is not my medium. Television is my medium, but water is not. I once nearly drowned at school, and the teacher had to dive in fully clothed and save me.
No!
And this was the teacher who'd kicked me up the bum 2 weeks before. So Mum had already been to school and go, "Who is the man who kicked my child? I will find him, I will kick him, see how he likes it." And then 2 weeks later, she was back at school. "Where's the nice man who saved my son's life?"
Same guy.
In the swimming pool. And he still hid in the art cupboard. But, yeah, I've got a spotty tradition of life stuff with water. I don't really like it. I always going on the last day of the holiday.
Right.
Just to say you have.
Just to say I've done it. But this was different. This was I was asked to do it by ITV. I said, ITV are not going to kill me. They're not going to kill me. They're not going to...
Touch and go.
You're not going to be voted out.
Yeah.
It's not live. So I'm going to go. And when we got there, me and Helen and Dougie and Ross and Ade and Helen and Rachel and Lucy, we became a team.
Yeah.
And the minute we became a squad, we had each other's backs and we just thought, I think this is going to be all right.
But did you look around and think, yeah, look, I don't look as tasty as she does. they're gonna take Lisa.
They're going to go for Helen George first. But it was literally like that. We looked after each other and we watched each other. And Ade, who is my hero, Ade's rocks a wheelchair, but everything he did was he would get himself in and out of the boat. It just made me so... The whole idea of access was just blown out of the water because of this guy. I just loved him. And Ross was very funny all the way through, and Lucy Punches, she just kept saying, "We're alive!" at the end of every day. "We're alive! We're alive!" And Helen doesn't like water, so she was having to overcome...
It's like she didn't like much.
No, but she wasn't moaning about it, but she didn't... And I've never heard somebody from Call the Midwife curse so much in my entire life. She did. We all did a lot. I don't... You know, if you're filming and you make a mistake, you might let out the odd... But this was like all the time and underwater. So all the sharks... No wonder the sharks stayed away from... Because it was like that.
Because actually, Ross was nibbled.
He was nibbled by... Yes, he was an amuse-bouche for a shark. And it was lemon sharks. We were stood in this water with all these lemon sharks swimming around us. Yeah. And one of them saw Ross's boot. He had an ankle problem and he wore a boot for most of the shoot. And I think the shark was going, "What is that? Is that a medical boot or is that his actual leg?" And they haven't got fingers, so they can't do this. So it went up and it went poof, like that. And the cameraman sort of pushed it out of the way and it swam away. Ross, however, maintains that he was bitten and he'll be writing about it in his new book, Ross and the Sharks, which will be out, published by Faber and Faber at the end of the year.
Survived
and he'll have his own documentary, How I Survived the Shark, and it'll be a musical by the end of next year as well.
Is there a format to it, or is it just kind of you guys going and trying to overcome your fear?
I think it's staged. I think at the beginning, we go in the cage with the bull sharks and we all go, "Ah!" And then we have rays, and then it's staged until we get to... I can't really say very much about the end, but it's a pretty spectacular end game in the last episode. It's pretty awesome.
But you experienced a lot of different species of shark, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's 540 species of sharks, and they're descended from dinosaurs, and they're extraordinary creatures, and they are apex predators, which means they protect the ocean from the little things that are destroying the ocean. So they eat those guys. So we do need sharks to be around. They protect the coral reef. No shark, no... You know, if the wave hits a coral reef, it lands there. If there's no coral reef, the wave goes like that and knocks your house down. So you need the sharks.
What was your sort of relationship with sharks up till that point? Just in terms of if you were... I mean, you didn't go in the sea very often, but if you did, would that be the back of your mind, is if I go out too far, a shark might get me? Were you scared of the idea of sharks?
I saw Jaws 50 years ago, and I was with my girlfriend at the time, And it wasn't the shark that scared me. It was when the geezer's head fell out of the boat. And
yeah.
And I leapt up into the air for 40 feet, and then we broke up after that. But it was an amazing experience watching that film and seeing how majestic sharks are.
Yeah.
And sharks only mess with you if you're messing around in the water. I think if you're wearing mad jewellery off your arms and you're waving around, or you're trying to take a picture, or you're doing this and that, a shark will go, "What are you doing that for?" and maybe take a chunk out of you.
Yeah.
But as long as we were told to stay still and swim along the bottom of the ocean and then get to the bus stop and wait. We were told to do that. But it was I'll never forget it. And it did make us all feel a bit braver.
Yeah.
Really?
There's something I think about being a grown-up and allowing yourself to be a little bit terrified and realising that the world around you is bigger than you.
I think nature is an extraordinary thing. And
Yeah.
I mean, I did understand why Attenborough stays in the studio now. And this is a shark. Look at this shark coming towards the cameraman. Luckily, I'm here with some biscuits and a cup of tea, narrating all of this for you at home. You know, Attenborough doesn't mess with sharks. What am I doing down there? I'm a comedian, for God's sake. But it was a fantastic, wonderful, beautiful, to be underwater and to see them, to see a thing coming towards you the size of a coach with fins and big-arse teeth. It was an extraordinary experience, and we all said, and this is going to shock you, well, I'll do this again.
Really?
We all said we'd do it again.
Came away thinking, and humbled by the scale and the ferocious...
That's easy for you to say.
I can't even say it. But the nature of you... I mean, that's the thing for me is, watching the episode that we've watched, watching you thinking, at any one point, if that shark decides that it's going to turn and go for you, that's it, you're done.
You're in there with them.
Yes.
They're not in there with you. And I think the slightest thing could happen and they would go... And the thing is, when you see how fast they swim, you realise, I might just stay here and be eaten, because I'm not going to... I got my red width badge.
Your pyjamas. And
in my pyjamas, I got the brick.
You got the brick.
And I tied the hole in my... Listen, there's no way I'm swimming away from a shark.
But one of the guides, one of the people you've got instructing you, had got attacked by a shark.
That was an amazing thing. Paul is an extraordinary Australian Tom Cruise type person, incredibly brave. He got his arm and his leg bitten off by a shark, and now he has bionic replacements. And he was the first person we saw.
Yes.
When they said, "Now to talk to you, here are some shark experts." And this guy walked on and went, "Hello," and we all went, "What?"
Oh.
But he's amazing. He's very brave. Some would say reckless, but no, he's very brave. And he showed us, before we had to do stuff, he would just jump in and do it. And we just went, OK, great. The other guys, Danny and Tristram, were great too. And they talked us through exactly what we needed to do and how we needed to stay shape. There was one moment when we had a plumber's plastic pipe, and they said, if a shark comes too near to you, just gently poke it in the face and it'll steer away from you. And that was interesting.
With a plumber's plastic pipe?
Yeah.
I don't feel particularly well armed with a plumber's plastic pipe.
It's a good job I was wearing a very tight rubber suit, because it would have been, embarrassing if I'd just been wearing my budgie smuggling. Put it that way.
I think we've got an exclusive clip from Shark Celebrity-Infested Waters. Let's have a look.
Wow.
Oh my God, look at that one.
Bloody hell! That one's huge. Insane. Oh my God, there's more of them.
Look at that one. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Oh my God.
And that was the first time you went down?
That was literally the first time.
That was day one, wasn't it? That was day one. You're all sitting there going, right, what are we going to do?
We'd all taken our PADI exams again, which is the scuba diving qualifications, which means that you can have some Haribos and go, "I am a scuba diver." So we all did that. And then suddenly day one was that, in the cage with the most ferocious sharks there are, which is bull sharks. And it was amazing. And Lucy Punch screamed like that all the way through. That wasn't a joke. She literally... But everybody was brave. We were all brave.
Yeah. You're also going to be brave later on this year, because you're doing a one-man play.
I'm doing a one-man play, yeah.
You have to be really brave.
How do the two things compare?
Well, I've been learning the lines for it. It's 37 pages of text, quite a lot of text, and you have to really just cram it in, like cramming for an exam. Yeah. It's called Every Brilliant Thing, and it's about a kid who learns that his mother attempted to take her life, and so he writes a list of every brilliant thing he can think of to make her understand that life is worth living. And then as he gets older and she tries it again, he continues with the list, and it's just about the joy of this person trying to make his mum understand that life is worth living. It's a beautiful play. We get the audience up to play different parts in it. I'm like a ringmaster. I get you to play a part. I get you to play a part. There's music in it. There's jokes in it. Somebody has to wear a sock puppet. It's really, it's funny, but it's also meaningful, and it's about our mental health, because it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to ask for help, and it's all about that. And I'm really enjoying it.
Do you know what's lovely about what you just said? Young Sam, who was sitting here before, said, what would be your advice? And he said, if you need some help, ask for help.
Ask for help.
Yeah, he did say that.
Really wise, simple message, but really lovely as well. Lenny, thank you for coming in.
Thank you. It's been a glory and a wonder, as always. And I love the way you put my picture up just before I come in.
On the wall over there.
You take Mo Gilligan's picture down and you put me up. And then when Mo's been on, you take his down and put Chuck McDonald up. I think it's really brilliant that you go, oh, Lenny's coming, we better get his picture up there now.
Get the blue
tack. Just so you know. I'm not having that with Lenny. That smile and that laugh sits and looks at us all day, every day. We love it. And we wouldn't have it any other way. You're there for a reason. And you're here for a reason. And we're glad all your fingers and toes are in touch.
Got everything. I've really enjoyed talking to you. You just got to see it. I wouldn't say this normally, but you got to see it. It's unreal.
And you can watch Shark Celebrity-Infested Waters on ITV1 and ITVX on Monday at 9 p.m.
Well, then, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.